Bitcoin needs to see some bullish price action from this lower side support, or else we're going to see a lot of lower levels for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is also at this critical horizontal support, so we need to hold this level. If we break below this level, we can go to see much lower prices. In this video I'm going to tell you exactly what we can expect during this day and what we can expect maybe in the coming week. I will also have a look at the two altcoins Bittensor TAO and Thorchain RUNE, but about that later in the video. There's also a lot of interesting data coming into the markets, so watch this video all the way to the end, like the video, and let's dive right into the charts. On the 1 hour time frame we can see this huge falling channel formation is unfolding for Bitcoin. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and also on the downside we can see a lot of touch points as support, and we are currently back at this huge downward sloping support line, so we need to see a bounce for Bitcoin if we want to remain bullish. And we are seeing that the support is holding strong for now, but of course we want to see a separation of this level, and that of course we are going to see this resistance on the top side getting retested. And if Bitcoin can come to this resistance on the top side, we want to see a bullish break of this formation and then a bullish continuation of the price. And if we're going to see a breakout, the top side of this formation will be confluent with the breakout target, and that will be around the $61,000. But for now we are at this lower side region and it is not looking all too good for Bitcoin. So we need to hold this support in order to remain bullish. So let's see what Bitcoin can do in the coming day. But we can also approach this 1 hour time frame like this. We can see multiple touch points on the top side as resistance, and this price is getting squeezed into an apex, and this apex might break out today. So we could see a huge break later today, and that could be confluent with the opening of the markets in the US. So let's see if we can maybe see a bullish break eventually, because this downward sloping consolidation wedge is a typical bullish bias pattern, because we can see a consolidation to the downside, and eventually after this price squeeze we want to see this exponential move to the top side. And if we're going to break this pattern to the top side of this formation will be the breakout target, and that will be around $58,500. So this pattern could break out today, and if we're going to see a break, then we can maybe see some volatility again. And yesterday the Bitcoin ETFs had another very bearish day. We saw a total outflow of $211 million, so that is insane of course. BlackRock didn't buy or sell anything, so that is neutral for them. But Fidelity is selling like crazy, and that is not what we want to see. And they have been selling like crazy in the last few weeks, so this is something to look at eventually. And the total cumulative inflow is now back at the 17 billion. So when BlackRock is going to buy again, I think we will see more bullish inflows again. And for now they are just selling the dip, and that is not what smart money wants to do eventually. Eventually we want to see the smart money buying the dip. And eventually I think we're going to see a shift in the Bitcoin ETFs, and when there are more inflows again, I think this will of course have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin. And if we have a look at the Ethereum ETF inflows, we can see we had a little bit of a neutral day yesterday. All the ETFs were not buying or selling yesterday, but the Grayscale Ethereum ETF was selling, and also their other Grayscale ETF was also buying. So we saw a total outflow of $200,000, so that is not nothing to worry about actually. But of course we want to see more bullish inflows for the Ethereum ETF, because for now the Ethereum ETF is a little bit of a flop already. And if we then have a look on the daily time frame, we can see Bitcoin is currently back at this huge horizontal support, and we need to hold this level around the $55,000, because if we're going to see a drop below this level, we could potentially go to this lower side of the wick, and that will bring us all the way below the $50,000. So that is the very most bearish scenario we are looking at. But of course we want to see a bullish bounce from this level once again, and eventually we are also in this downtrend, so we want to gain this previous high, and then we want to see this trend reversal happening. So we created a high around here, and we want to create a higher high. So if we're going to see a higher high, a higher low, and then another higher high, we are going to see a huge trend reversal on the daily time frame, and that will bring us to new regional highs. So for now we are in this downtrend, so we also potentially could see it a little bit like this. And then I'm going to another chart, and on the other chart on the daily time frame we were experiencing a little bit something like this. We were in this consolidation phase. We saw multiple touch points here on the top side and on the lower side, and we broke down from this support. We retested this support as resistance, and from there we came further back down. And the breakdown target of this huge breakdown will be around this level, and it will be around $53,000. So we could potentially see a lower drop. We reached the target, and from there we could maybe see a bounce. And yeah, of course, this is the bearish scenario that could play out for Bitcoin. But of course, we want to see a gain of this level, and we want to see that this support is holding strong for now, and that we can come back to this higher side region and eventually gain this previous high. And yesterday we had also some bullish news coming into the market. MasterCard was saying they were launching crypto debit card in Europe, and they are allowing users to spend from self-custodial wallets at 100 million merchants. So they have a lot of people using their cards, and that are more than 100 million people. So this could have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin if all these people are getting used to crypto, because a lot of people are not into crypto yet, and if they're going to see credit cards with Bitcoin on their credit card, this could have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin, because they need to buy Bitcoin in the first place. And every week we are seeing a lot of companies embracing Bitcoin, so this is beautiful to see. And if we then go back to the daily time frame chart for Bitcoin, we can see we are in this huge consolidation phase since the beginning of March 2024. And now we can see this price is getting squeezed into this apex. We can see multiple touch points on the lower side as support, and we are now creating a lot of resistance on the top side as well. So this price will be getting squeezed into this apex, and later this year this apex will come to a climax and it will have a huge breakout. So of course we want to see a bullish break, and if we're going to see a bullish break, that means that the breakout target of this formation will be the top side, and that will be around this level, and that will be bring us back to the $69,000. So this could have a very bullish effect on the price of Bitcoin, of course. But for now we have to be a little bit patient, and we are in this huge consolidation pattern. So let's see if Bitcoin can break out in the coming weeks and months. And let me know in the comments what you think about Bitcoin in the coming months. Do you think Bitcoin is going to create a new all-time high in 2024 or not? So the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is TAO. Bittensor TAO is currently inside of this huge range again. We can see this horizontal range is appearing. We can see multiple touch points here on the top side and also on the lower side as support. And every time we touch this support, we saw a beautiful bounce to the top side. And eventually we are going back down now. So we could potentially see another bounce from this level. And every time we are touching this huge green box, I'm accumulating more TAO, because I think this is a very interesting project and is a very good project for the long term. And currently we are at $230, and the previous all-time high was set a couple months ago at $750. So if we're going to come back to this level, that will be a 3x from here. And we can also see two big rejections from this horizontal resistance area, and every time we touch this area we saw a big rejection to the downside. So let's see if we can possibly create a new leg up, come back to this resistance, and eventually we want to see this break to the top side, a retest of this resistance to turn it into support, and from there we want to aim for higher targets. Because after this huge breakout of this huge falling wedge formation to the downside, we saw a beautiful break to the top side, a retest of this resistance area to turn it into support, and still the breakout target of this falling wedge formation is the confluent with the previous all-time high, and that will be around the $730. So from here we are still aiming for the previous all-time high, and that could happen in the coming months. And another interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is a Thorchain RUNE. We can also see that RUNE was in this huge falling wedge formation to the downside, and we are also seeing a lot of touch points on the top side as resistance and on the lower side as support. We can also see this important horizontal resistance and support level was coming into play. We saw a lot of support in the historical price action, but we flipped it again to resistance, and currently we saw a little bit of a rejection here again for resistance. But this is not too bad, because we could also see a breakout of this falling wedge formation. We are now retesting this resistance as support, so we could potentially create a bullish retest and aim for higher targets. But of course this huge horizontal level is the first big resistance for RUNE to break. So let's see if RUNE can create a bullish bounce from this level and separate itself from this level, and eventually the top side of this formation will be the breakout target of this falling wedge structure, and that will be around the $9.50. And currently we are at the $3.50, so that could potentially also be a 3x from here. So at these lower side regions, and especially at this bullish retest, I'm buying more RUNE, and I think RUNE is also a very good project for the coming bull market. So for now I'm looking at this huge falling wedge structure on the 1 hour time frame for Bitcoin. We want to see a bounce later today, and that we're going to see some bullish price action back to this top side resistance, and of course we want to see a bullish break to the top side. So let's see if that is going to happen today. Please give a like if you find the video useful, follow me on my socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.